guys, how's it going? It's Aiden the Aviator here, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Today I'm going to start off with this new series where I show off my Diecast airplane collection. I've been collecting Diecast planes for a couple of years now, and I figured it's about time I show them off as another added part of this channel. So for this first video, I'm going to be showing off the 5 models that I got for Christmas this year in 2020. And I know 2020's been a hectic year, but we're going to end off on a good note. So these are the 5 various models that I got. This is probably enough of a giveaway to tell what they are, but I'm going to look at each of them in depth and get you a nice up-close look at all these nice models I got. So without further ado, enjoy the video, and let's get started. So the first model we're looking at today is this Aero Classics Air Canada Cargo 727-100. As you can tell by the sticker, it's from Threshold Aviation, which is the airplane model store near Toronto Pearson Airport. I go there all the time and buy models. So obviously my parents got this from there when they got this from me. It's I've been collecting Air Canada retrojets for quite a long time actually. I've got 5 in my collection now, including this one that I got. And I've already gotten 2 others this year, a 767 and a L1011 TriStar, painted up in the red and white Air Canada livery, which is my personal favorite. So yeah, let's open this up and we'll take a good close look at it. Here it is, out of the box and for everyone to see. It's what I would expect from Aero Classic. They're one of my favorite model brands, aside from like Gemini maybe, because they've just got such nice quality. And, well, just for anywhere to get retrojets, you know, Aero Classics is the place to go. The thing I like about the Aero Classics, though, is that the landing gear wheels spin. Many other model brands don't do that with their models. They don't have the wheels actually spinning. I mean, I know that that doesn't matter. It's just for novelty's sake, and I've had a bad experience where I rolled it too much and the wheels actually fell off on my Aero Classics Air Canada DC-8. The nose landing gear, the little black parts for the tires, they fell off along with the little pin, and I never found them again. So I'll either find another DC-8 or I'll just find a spare someday. So, but yeah, this looks really nice. This is the first Air Canada cargo. This is really the first cargo plane I've ever gotten in my fleet, period. And speaking of Air Canada and cargo planes, they're for anyone who follows Canadian aviation news, Air Canada, along with their subsidiary Rouge, they actually just retired their Boeing 767-300s from their fleet as a permanent thing, which I was pretty upset about that because they're nice looking planes. But I have heard that they are actually going to bring them back as full-on cargo planes, which I think that's really cool because they haven't had like fully designated cargo planes like this one for a long time. I don't even remember the last plane they had. The most modernish plane they had was probably like the DC-8 or the 727. So they didn't have too many full-on cargo planes. Like, yeah, they've been doing cargo flights now during the pandemic, but that's just with cargo planes, just, passenger planes having all the seats taken out. But these from what I've heard, the 767s are gonna like actually become cargo planes, like giant door cut in them, and you know, probably the windows plugged. So I think that's really cool, and it would be cool to see those eventually, sometime in the next year or two. So if you follow Canadian aviation, keep an eye on that. So that was this one. We're gonna move on to the next model now. So the next model we're looking at is this Models Westjet Boeing 757-200. Now, you might be thinking, wait, Westjet never had 757s. Well, you're technically right. But for a while, I think it was like the mid-2000s, they actually leased a couple of 757s. That's why you can see the registration is a November registration, which is America. November 750, November Alpha. And it's not in the traditional WestJet livery. It doesn't have the green on the tail and their logo. It's just white with their lettering. I'm a big fan of collecting Canadian aircraft, obviously, because I'm Canadian and all. So I figured this is an interesting and unique addition to that collection. So I asked for it, and sure enough, I get it. So again, let's open this up and we'll take a look at it. So here it is. all out of the box and stuff. It's very nice looking. I only have 3 757s in my collection now, including this one, and it's just weird looking at this the way it is, because it's like, Westjet doesn't really have any big planes like this in this livery. Like, they have the Dreamliners nowadays, but those are painted up in their new livery, which actually have a NG Models Westjet Dreamliner 9 painted up in their new livery. I'll show that in a future video, I'm sure. But again, this also looks very nice. You know, it's like with the Aero Classics, NG also has good quality. I think I have 4 in my collection. Yeah, I have 4 NGs in my collection. I have 2 of the Las Vegas Sands aircraft, an L1011 and a 747 SP. Again, I'll show those in a future video. I have this one, and then I have the Dreamliner 9 for WestJet, which, again, I'll show that in a future video someday in this series. And again, I'm hoping to one day get the entire WestJet fleet. I'm only missing a couple of their 737s and a Q400. I'm not picky about brands either. I just care about the model looking good and actually being in one piece, so I've heard a lot of people say that this one's a rare model and that it might be worth some money in a few years or so who knows? I mean, I'm not planning on selling any of my models anytime soon, and another thing is, I'm also planning on getting a display case sometime this year. We're remodeling my basement, which will give us a little bit more room down there, and we're going to get like a glass display case and we're going to put it down there, so I'm sure I'll make a video about that when that eventually happens. But it looks really nice for what it is, and again, it's weird seeing a WestJet livery on a 757, especially with this type of livery, but it looks very nice. Alright, we're going to move on now. There's not much else to say about this model, so let's look at the next model. So now we're moving on to the third model of the ones that I got. This is a Dragon Wings WestJet Boeing 737-200. Now, the 737-200 was the very first aircraft that WestJet ever had in their fleet when they first began operations in the 90s. And just for a long time in general, WestJet's fleet consisted of only 737s, you know, like Southwest and Ryanair. But eventually, when they started up things like WestJet Shuttle, which operates on the West Coast, and they use Saab 340s, which I have a model of that too. It's really small. WestJet Encore for their more regional stuff, they use Q400s, and then for their mainline fleet, they got the Dreamliner 9, as I mentioned before. But this one I've been looking for a really long time, because they're hard to find and they're also expensive, but I heard that my dad got this one for a really cheap ass price, so yeah, we'll open this up and we'll take a nice good look at this. Is out of the box and everything. This one was actually very dirty when I got it for Christmas. My dad said it was a consignment model, so from the store he got it from, it was just selling it for another person who I guess owned it. And my guess is they probably just had it displayed somewhere and let it get covered in dirt and dust. I actually just cleaned it the other day along with the other model I'm going to show you after this. So you can see how very shiny it looks now on the wings. I actually took a few photos of the before and after, so yeah, if you can see there, all the dirt and the dust and everything on it, and you can see all like the specks of little hair that were on the wings. The horizontal stabilizers were also really bad. But for anyone who does collect model aircraft, if you ever get an old model like this that's dirty, if you ever want to clean it, just use a little bit of warm water, like warm to hot, not crazy hot of course. Use something like a Q-tip or like a foam cleaning brush or something. That's what I used, and well, I used a little bit of dish soap as well just to give it a good cleaning, get any other dirt and dust off of it, and I dried it off with a rag. And I also used a can of compressed air to get into the tighter spaces, like the stand hole where the gear is, just any other hard to reach crevice that the cloth can't get into to dry it off. So if you look at these before and after pics, you can tell there's a huge difference. And even in this video, you can just see it. If I can get the lighting in the right position, you can see the glare is like, it's really shiny now. Before it was like very opaque, it was very rough, and it was just dirty. It was just dirty all around. So giving it a good cleaning really increases the quality appearance of the model. And it would be more expensive too if I were to sell it like this. So I'm really glad it turned out the way it did. And this is nice looking too. I should compare this with the 737 MAX model that I have, just for size comparison for anyone who wants to see a good comparison here. So here you can actually see the comparison between the two 737s. This is a MAX 8, and then this is the 737-200. I mean, this is just a general comparison, but yeah, you know, this is the first 737 they ever got, and these are the more modern ones they have. Of course, like every other 737 MAX, they're still grounded in real life. But they're expected to return to service soon. But you can just see such a difference between the two planes in general. Like the WestJet, it's got a short, stubby little tail, you know, short wings, tiny little engines and fuselage. I mean, granted, that's just also the way the models look. And then you got the MAX 8, which it's got a nice fresh paint livery. I love the livery of the new Maxes. I did see a couple back in March, just before they got grounded. And it looked really nice, and I actually did see one stuck on the ground while they were grounded. So I'm hoping to see these guys flying again someday, but at the same time, I also would have liked to have seen one of their 737-200s. There are a couple on display here in Canada, but nowhere near where I'm living, so that's unfortunate. But maybe one day I'll get a chance to see one. So yeah, it's a very nice model, and I'm glad I finally have this one. I'm only missing a couple of 737s for WestJet from my fleet, so hopefully I'll get those someday, and I'll have a complete fleet for WestJet. So now we'll move on to the second last model of this video, and then I've saved the best one for last, by the way, but this one is probably the second best. So the fourth model I got is this Dragon Wings Canadian Pacific Airlines 747-200. Now this is also a hard to come by cheaply model. I've looked at it on eBay a few times, and they've gone for like a fortune. And again, I heard my dad got this for like twice the price it would be. This is also a consignment model. And like the WestJet, it was also dirty. I don't know if it was the same seller or not. I know we got it from the same place though. But yeah, this is the first 737-200 I have in my collection. I have a couple of 400s, but that's about it. But I really wanted to get this, because as you can see, this is an absolutely gorgeous looking livery with the orange and then the bare metal silver. And the model itself, it looks absolutely great, even before I cleaned it, but after I cleaned it, it looks even great. So we're gonna open this up and we're gonna take a good look at it too.
3, 2, 1.
Here it is. This is absolutely stunning. Like it's as I would expect from a CP Air 747, but I was blown away when I saw this thing. And again, like the WestJet, the wings were extremely dirty. And again, like the WestJet, you can see that they look very shiny and smooth now, which they are. But if you look at these before and after pics, you can just see, like, this is what it looked like before. You can just see that it's all covered with the dirt and grime. I know the lighting's a bit low. I had to do it lower so I could actually see, like, dirt and grime on it. The stabilizer was also just as bad, but not as bad as the WestJet. I gave this one a good scrubbing a few times with the same technique, and then the after picture is like, oh my god, it's like a brand new model again. The fact that I got this for twice the price. But yeah, and it just looks great. Even the shine, the nice bare metal shine, as you can see with the glare, it's really nice looking. You know, these are the types of retro jets I like. So Canadian Pacific Airlines was actually one of the two airlines that merged to become Air Canada. Well, see, many of these old Canadian airlines did coexist, like CP, Canadian, and Air Canada, but CP Air merged into Canadian Airlines, which I have a model of that one as well I'll show in another video. And Canadian Airlines merged with Air Canada. Yes, and they are two completely different airlines. But out of all of those, my personal favorite livery would have to be the 747 on the CP, because like this is the type of livery you don't see nowadays, and I would love it if Air Canada made a retro livery of this on one of their planes. In my opinion, I would want it to be like a Dreamliner. I've seen a few like fake pictures that people have like put together digitally of what that would look like, and it just looked absolutely incredible. But See, this is the kind of stuff that like older plane enthusiasts will know, Canadians at least. And I personally love this too. My dad also really likes this livery. Like, you got the bright like luminescent orange. You get the nice bare metal. Like, it's absolutely stunning, and I am glad it turned out the way it did after I cleaned it, because even the fuselage was really dirty, and like the silver parts weren't as shiny. You could tell that there was dirt on them. So I gave them a couple of scrubs, like a couple of different times. Like, I did it, I would dry it, look at it, do it a few more times, and once I was satisfied enough, I moved on. The only other thing that there was only a few other things I was concerned about. The other one were these little antennas on the wingtips here. They were actually a little bit bent, so my dad and I had to straighten them. As you can see, these little antennas on the end here. One of them was bent a little bit. I think it was this one, but we dipped it in some hot water, which kind of loosened it up, and then we were able to straighten it. The other thing is, on the tail here, you can see there's a little chip of paint here. So my guess is I could probably just use like model paint or something, and I could just cover that up, hopefully to make it good. Also, the stabilizer's a little loose, but it's fine where it is now. If it comes loose again, I can just glue it back together. But yeah, and overall, I was just thoroughly impressed by how this looked. So that was this one. I figured I'd save this one for the end, but we have one more, and this is the big one. This is the granddaddy of them all, so let's check that out now. So now we're moving on to the final model of the video. And this one I was honestly not expecting to get. Here it is. The Herpa An225. I was so shocked when I got this, and I was wanting this for such a long time, but I did not think I was ever going to get it, because I know that these were a limited thing. And my dad apparently got this from Amazon, of all places. Not some fancy model store, but from Amazon. He did say he had to spend a bit of a fortune, but yeah, there it is on the inside. We'll take it out and take a look. But this thing, as you can probably just tell by the box, is absolutely gigantic. And, well, I guess we'll just open it up and take a look. Here it is, in all its glory. The mighty An225 Mariah. This thing is absolutely gigantic. Like, I know the plane itself is huge, but like, this model is absolutely gigantic. Like, I did not expect it to be this big. Like, just looking at it from above, you can see just how big it actually is. And I was damn impressed just by the quality of this thing. Like, this thing is absolutely stunning. See, I was fortunate enough to see this thing back in May of this year when it landed in Toronto for its second time. And then when I got the model, it was like this completed perfectly. If you want to check out that video, it is on my channel, so be sure to check it out. But this thing, I was damn impressed by the quality. The landing gear is nice. It weighs a ton. I should actually weigh it and see how much it actually is. But this thing is really heavy. Like, you compare it to like some of the other models I showed earlier today, and you'll just see just how big this thing is. And it is absolutely beautiful. The airplane itself is beautiful in real life. You know, it's got the two bumps on here where the Buran space shuttle would go, which that's actually what this thing was originally built for back in the 80s. Was to carry the Soviet space shuttle, but then, you know, that didn't go over very well. I would like to get a model with that on there too, but I was so happy about this. I wasn't expecting to get this either, but I mean, the quality of this thing is absolutely stunning. And, you know, I praise Herpa for doing such a good job, because they could have just half-assed it and made a poor quality model, but no, this thing is huge. It is really big. Like, obviously it's the biggest model because, you know, it's the largest plane on Earth. So I was expecting it to be the biggest model I owned, but this just blew me away. So that's pretty much all I've got to say today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This next bit is going to be some nice up-close shots of all the airplanes on the video today, so I hope you enjoy that. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you guys had a great Christmas holiday. I hope you have a great new year. Hopefully 2021 is going to be a much better year than this year. We'll just pretend that 2020 never happened. But for me, I'd say it was okay. You know, I got a good round of plane spotting in. I got to see the An225 this year. I got all these nice models this year. I'm a happy camper. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Leave a like, comment if you want, and I'll see you guys in 2021. So that's the video. Have a good one. Enjoy the slideshow.